Thank you very much for joining us today. This topic, as you may already know, is exam development session 2. All right, so first, Bloom's taxonomy is a framework for classifying learning and learning objectives based on the complexity and specificity. You would not need to, bother too much to, belabor that. You might not be teachers, but it's just for you to know that Bloom's taxonomy is a framework which is used for classifying learning objectives based on how complex the concepts that are being taught or being learned or that have been learned by the learners are and the way we specifically address them. So SMEs, that's the subject matter experts, they can utilize Bloom's taxonomy to develop exam questions that will be able to assess the depth of the test taker's knowledge, skills, and abilities. All right, earlier I mentioned to you that Bloom's taxonomy consists of 6 cognitive levels. The first is knowledge, then you have comprehension, then application, then analysis, then evaluation, and then synthesis. SMEs that will be used in any examination situation should be taught to be able to create exam questions that cover these various cognitive levels. I think in the next slide or so, I will show you some of the, should I call them verbs or words or concepts that are used when examinations are to be, examination test items are to be developed or constructed to test each of those cognitive levels. All right, so we have what we call remembering, which is the knowledge. It should be designed to ask, test takers to recall specific facts or to provide definitions. So that, for instance, if you ask a question that is directly requiring the test taker to define a concept or a construct, you are testing knowledge, or you are just trying to know how much they are able to remember concepts. And so therefore, if you say define, or you provide a definition and expect them to know that that's, or identify that that's definition you have provided is the definition of a particular construct, you are testing remembering, or the other name for it is simply knowledge. Then, for instance, again, if you are designing questions that are expected to measure evaluation, you are required you will be required the test takers to assess the strength and weaknesses of an argument or discussion. All right, so by employing Bloom's taxonomy, SMEs and indeed all test developers or examination developers ensure that there is accuracy in the measurement of these knowledge, skills, and abilities of the subjects being tested. Okay, so nice. This is a snapshot of some of the key items, some of the key constructs that can be used to, test the different levels of the Bloom taxonomy in your exams. So if you ask questions, as I mentioned earlier, about definitions, or you ask to identify, you have student to list or to name or to recall or to state, you are testing remembering or knowledge. Then if you ask students to summarize or to explain or paraphrase or describe or discuss, you are testing understanding or comprehension. Then if you ask them to apply, to demonstrate, or to solve, you are talking about application. Analysis, of course, the word analyze itself will be there. If you say compare, contrast, differentiate, examine, investigate, and so on and so forth, you will be dealing with analysis. So for evaluation, if you ask them to judge or critique or justify, you are talking about evaluation. Then you have the last one, which is synthesis. If you ask them to design, to invent, to generate, to combine, or formulate, you have tested or you are testing them in the synthesis level of the Bloom's taxonomy. So the third point is to write clear and concise examination questions. So SMEs, or indeed all exam developers, need to bear in mind that there is a very, there is a great importance that is attached to the fact that your exam questions should be clear and concise. So examination questions should be clear and concise to ensure that the questions themselves do not mislead the test taker. It should be easy to understand by them, especially when you are testing them on areas that have to do with their discipline or their experience. Then care therefore needs to be taken to ensure that poorly worded questions are not brought into the picture. This is because they can cause confusion and affect the exam's validity. The validity of an exam is the fact that the test or the item is able to measure what it is designed to measure. If a test is supposed to test students now or testees, if you are dealing with what example should I bring now? If you are dealing with the human anatomy, or maybe a specific area of the human anatomy, the test should be seen to be addressing only that particular portion, or let's say the item should be addressing that particular portion you have carved out or you have set out to test the testees on. Excuse me. So therefore, clear and simple language is necessary. Unnecessary use of technical jargon or ambiguous terms that could cause the testees to not be able to, flow, should be avoided. Debbie has punched out. We have only one more person aside myself. Then, after you have generated or designed developed your test, there is a need that a pilot test is carried out on the examination questions.